Hi guys, welcome back. My name's Alice, I'm the chef at the Greenhouse Cafe. Welcome to my kitchen. I've been sharing my favourite lockdown recipes with you guys, and today we are going to be making some delicious orange and almond mince pies. So they're going to have orange and almond running all the way through, obviously, and then we're going to top them with a sponge. So it's like a cake and a mince pie, best of both. If you wanted to make them now, they also freeze really well, so you can pop them in the freezer once you bake them today and whack them back out for Christmas. Although I hear something. But wait, Alice, don't you sell those at the Greenhouse Cafe? Why yes we do, thank you for asking. If you would like to pre-order some mince pies as long as festive nossage rolls, nossage Wellington and loads of different lovely Christmas cakes that we're offering, you can do so now. The link is in the bio. Yes, I will be showing you the recipe for the mince pies today, but if you really can't be bothered and you would just like the delicious taste of the Greenhouse Cafe, then you can order them and these lovely hands will be making them around Christmas. So get in touch, or you can follow the link in the description below. So enough of me blabbering and being a fool, let's get going on these delicious mince pie. So in this bowl I have 185 grams of plain flour. I haven't bothered sifting it because we're going to get our hands all dirty. To that I'm going to add 40 grams of ground almonds, again not sifted, but we are going to sift our icing sugar, and I've got 25 grams of icing sugar. I'll just get that sifted, and then I'm going to add the zest of an orange, which is one of my favourite Christmas flavours. I think it just complements all of the Christmas spices so bloomin' well. Okay, so that's the zest of the orange all in there. In here I've got 100 grams of butter, the Flora salted butter, which has been out at room temperature for about half an hour, so it's not completely room temperature, but it's also not completely cool because it will be quite hard to rub that in. So using our fingertips, we are just going to rub in the butter until we have red crummy texture. It's already smelling so beautifully orangey and zesty and gorgeous. Looks like a nice bowl of orangey sand. So we will go ahead and add the moisture to bring this pastry together. So I'm going to add the juice of half an orange as our moisture for this pastry. We'll add that first and see if we can bring the whole thing together, and if not we'll add a little bit more cold water. Just slowly add that in. I don't know why, but my mum always used to mix shortcrust pastry with a knife, so I'm going to grab that and do the same. I can see already it probably is going to need a little bit more liquid, so I'm just going to add probably another tablespoon of cold water. Always the precise measurements with me, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's a bit better. So we're looking for sort of big clumps that are sort of sticking and coming together, and we'll see if we can bring this together into a ball. I suspect we probably can. Just clinked on this, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge for half an hour just to cool off and rest and be perfect for rolling out and being delicious. We're going to add 100 grams of flour. We'll add 70 grams of caster sugar, 35 grams of ground almonds. Going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder and 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm also just going to add a very small pinch of salt. Go through the sieve. And we'll just combine those in the bowl, and then we'll measure out our wet ingredients. Okay, so we're going to keep our wet separate from our dry for now until we're ready to combine the two. So in this jug I'm going to add 125 ml of milk. I'm using soy milk because I find it to be the most bland, which remarkably is a good thing. And I'm going to add 50 ml of a bland vegetable oil. I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of our favourite apple cider vinegar. So again, what the vinegar is going to do is react to the baking soda, which we've got in our dry mix. And when the vinegar hits the soda, it's going to create that rise that you would see usually with eggs. But we ain't using eggs today. I'm also going to add the other half of the orange juice into that. Also got some orange essence. I'm just going to add a capful of, just in case it's not already orangey enough, but if you can't find this, just don't need it. It's been about 20 minutes since we rested the pastry. It's nice and firm, nice and cool, so it's ready to roll out. I've just heated up the oven to 180 degrees, so that's ready to go for when we are. And I've also got a case of 12, which we might get slightly more than 12, but we will adjust as we go. So I'm just very lightly going to dust the top of the pastry and also give the rolling pin a bit of flour. And then very lightly we will roll this dough. And try and keep the same amount of pressure on the dough as you go, and that way the whole thing will be around the same thickness. So mine's just sticking a little bit, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit of flour as we go. I'd say that was slightly less than a pound coin thickness, so we'll go with that. I've got my cookie cutter here, so it's probably around 3 inches. Might be a little small for the cases I'm using. So we'll just press those in, get as many as we can out of this one. Oh, it's sticking a little bit. That's better. We've got 9 so far. Just gonna collate this again, try and get rid of the excess. It's important to try and get as many as you can out of the first roll, because the second roll you've obviously added a little bit more flour and a bit more kneading to it so you're going to lose a little bit of that shortness that we're after. So get as many as you can out first time, but the second roll we should be able to get the last 3. That's definitely enough, 3 more, so we'll get 3 more out there. Just show you the thickness. It is quite thin, but they are all pretty much the same thickness, which is good. Again, if you wanted to, you could re-roll this and make a few more. I'm probably going to leave it there because I haven't got another case for them, so I'm going to leave it there with those. Grab my tin, and what we will do, keep the floured side down so it will help it not stick. It's very lightly push into all of the corners. So this tin is probably a little deep for the cutter I've used, but we can definitely roll with it. So I'm just very lightly, I'm put it on fully over the top, very lightly push in. If it breaks, you can always use a bit of your excess pastry to fill the holes. So we'll do that for all of them. There we go, all nice and filled. So let's get into filling these with mincemeat. So I'm using Tesco, very standard Tesco mincemeat. It says on the back it's suitable for vegans. So I'm just going to take about a teaspoon at first and pop that in the middle. And we can again add a little more if needed, but don't forget we've got our beautiful sponge to go on top, so we don't want to overfill at this point because there'll be nowhere for the sponge to go. Right, I think that's fairly even. So I'm just going to pop these in the fridge whilst we whisk up the sponge, just to make sure they stay nice and cool for the oven. Okay, so our final step is to combine our wet with our dry ingredients to make the sponge. Oh, that's the oven being at temperature. So we'll just whisk those together so it's nice and smooth. That's probably going to be more than enough for our 12. That will probably actually be enough for 24, in fact. I'll make a note of that in the recipe below. It's going to be absolutely plenty. And I've also got some flaked almonds that we'll just sprinkle on top as well. So let's get our mince pies out of the fridge. And what we're going to do is get maybe another large teaspoon, pour that over the top of the mince. Like so. Again, be really careful not to overfill. I think I might have overfilled that one in fact. I'm just going to try and even these out a little bit, adding tiny bits here and there to cover up all of the mincemeat. I'll just sprinkle these with some flaked almonds. And then they are ready for the oven. All done. I'm going to get these into the oven, which is at 180 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes. We'll check after 12 and see if they need any more browning. So let's do that. So I really hate waste, and I've got quite a lot of leftover sponge mix. So I've just very quickly lined this cupcake tin with some cupcake cases, and I'm just going to spoon in the rest of this sponge mix and make some very quick orange and almond sponges. So here we have our final product. I'm really happy with how these came out. They are so pretty. Perfect little bite-sized treat. Well, I've just dusted them with some icing sugar. And yeah, I'm gonna eat one. So, this little one is gonna get eaten. Let's try one, shall we? Mmm. Mmm. Oh yeah. Give you a close-up. Not of my face, of the, oh god. That's just dripped down my kitchen counter, whoops. And I'll be making hundreds and hundreds of them, so if you like the look of them but you don't want to go through the effort of making them, don't forget our Christmas pre-orders are going live on Saturday, the 28th, I believe. So I'll leave the link for that in the description below. Again, we're doing mince pies, sausage rolls, sausage wellingtons, and our beautiful Christmas cakes, so make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been lovely to have you with me, and to eat some mince pies on a Friday night is the best. And I will see you guys soon. Let me know how you get on with this recipe. If you take any pictures, do send them my way, and if you have any suggestions or requests, let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! P.S. I've just got the sponge that I put in the cupcakes out of the oven, and they are looking really nice, and if you do get extra, chuck them in some cupcake tins. Delish! Bye!